After that, the homeboys from my neighborhood started calling me Machine Gun Mundo. We would go for a torso shot first. That was the knockdown power we needed to then walk up and finish them off. Barrio Nuevo, the gang I originated from, been around since the 40s. There are members from those times whose kids and grandkids pass the torch to other family members.
LA is a city of migrants. Waves of Mexicans, Chinese and Japanese laid railway tracks, harvested fruit and built the wealth of the city. Blacks from the American South came later, drawn to Southern California by the Second World War boom in military industry.
These are people who were driven off the southern farms with the mechanization of agriculture and settled in the cities like other immigrants. The big difference is that this was no longer an expanding economy by the 60s.
1965. With unemployment in South Central LA at 20%, the black version of the American dream was collapsing. The residents of Watts erupted in militant protest. Inner-city youth rallied behind movements like the Black Panthers and men like Malcolm X. But when the Los Angeles Police Department cracked down and destroyed the local Panthers chapter, LA's youth turned to the gangs, which filled the void.
And they lived under horrible conditions, and they picked up the ways of moving forward that you could, a lot of which was crime.
Soon the gangs ruled the neighborhoods, and drug trading became the new road to success. By the late 1990s, there were hundreds of gangs in LA, with over 70,000 members. Turf wars were routinely settled with automatic weapons. New machine pistols like Uzis and Mac-10s were the ideal street guns for the gangs. In South Central, kids call machine pistols summer guns. Stuck in jeans, a Mac-10 can be hidden easily, even without a jacket.
What's alarming is that these guns are being sold over the counter, most of the time from illegal money. That is money that is being made by the sale of cocaine. And it's big business out here.
Anybody that had machine guns, semi-automatic weapons, I had the drug dealer call me, and then I'd negotiate over the phone, depending on how many they wanted to give us.
Machine guns are more than tolerated in America. Under the US Constitution, citizens have the right to bear arms. The powerful American gun lobby contests any regulation of AK sales as an intolerable constraint on freedom.
When you have large urban societies and you've created, civilization, you're going to have weapons, and people do need to defend themselves.
That kind of weaponry in the hands of criminals, in the hands of kids who really don't know the firepower they have, is something that no civilized society should really tolerate. The availability of those machine pistols really encouraged the militarization of police departments. So one of the consequences in the United States has been the development of the SWAT teams, policemen who in effect are in full military gear heading in to do things like serve a warrant.
LA police invented Special Weapons and Tactics, or SWAT teams. Their favorite weapons, Heckler & Koch MP5 submachine guns and the Kar-15 assault rifles.
The MP5 is much more appropriate for single aim shots or 2-round bursts. The 9mm cartridge is not an extremely powerful cartridge, and that's why for police use they should be accurate and that bullets don't go flying over, because if it hits Mrs. Smith across the street, then there's going to be multi-million-dollar lawsuits.
Once police get the idea that the guy on the other side is the enemy, the notion that the guy is innocent until proven guilty is finished.
Obviously a very, very dangerous individual.
And this really undermines notions of policing in a civil society.
Los Angeles is not the only city where economic polarization has given birth to heavily armed gangs. Denied recourse to justice, the ghettos in other post-industrial cities, from Paris to Johannesburg, also find gangs acting as internal police and courts of appeal. The gun Kalashnikov thought obsolete holds frightening power today. Richard Gatling's machine gun, invented in 1862, was the tool of empire builders. His invention revolutionized the battlefield. And as it evolved, the machine gun spread into cities and jungles, traveling across the globe. With each leap in gun design, warfare and society changed forever. Nearly 150 years after Gatling, Mike O'Dwyer, a retail manager from Canberra, Australia, submitted a patent in downtown Sydney. It was for a new machine gun.
I had concern that if I did nothing with it, that I'd end up being a cranky old fellow sitting on a patio somewhere saying, I should have done something about it.
The fastest machine gun in the world shoots 4,000 rounds per minute. Mike O'Dwyer's new gun shoots 1 million. He calls it Metal Storm. In one version of the gun, it has 36 barrels, each holding 15 bullets. The gun has no moving parts, but is fired electronically. As the charge fires, O'Dwyer's revolutionary new bullet expands, blocking the barrel to stop a chain reaction. The distance between each bullet leaving a normal machine gun is about 30 meters. The distance between Metal Storm's bullets is 10 centimeters. Mike O'Dwyer's gun will stop missiles and tanks as easily as it stops approaching soldiers. Like Richard Jordan Gatling, O'Dwyer says that his gun will save more lives than it takes, and that if he does not build it, somebody else will.
Any technology that delivers an advantage does so only for a period of time. The advance of technology really can't stop, because if it does, then the advantage can pass from us to people that might threaten us. So there's no doubt in my mind that I'm delivering a technology to the world that gives our government and my country a better ability to defend itself.
Metal Storm is now being tested by military and police forces across the globe. Both the pistol and machine gun models will require little more power than the battery from a digital calculator. And while O'Dwyer states that plans are not underway for private sales, there are those who'll do whatever is necessary to own the Metal Storm. Today, there are 150 million machine guns, assault rifles and submachine guns in the world. National and ethnic conflicts are rampant, from the Balkans to Africa. Criminal gangs stalk the streets of Moscow and Los Angeles. Children take up arms in big city ghettos and remote jungles. Everywhere, their power, their weapon, the machine gun.
Next tonight, we'll chart the return to the skies of the first supersonic passenger jet after the terrible crash in Paris. It's Concord the Comeback after the break.